In recent Netflix news, Netflix adds nearly 19 million subscribers to end 2024 with more than 300 million global subscribers. And if we go into this article here, when we get broken down by region, Netflix says it added 4.82 million subscribers in the US and Canada, 5 million across its Europe, Middle East, and Africa region, 4.15 million in Latin America, and 4.94 million in the Asia Pacific territory. So you would think like Netflix is doing pretty well for themselves, but do you know how Netflix decided to celebrate this massive milestone, getting to more than 300 million global subscribers? By jacking up their prices once again. Yippee! This article from The Hollywood Reporter, Netflix raises prices in first major hike since 2023. The streaming giant is upping the cost of its standard ad-supported tier to $7.99 a month in the US, up from $6.99, and the standard plan is increasing by $2. But just you wait and see how expensive Netflix is going to get now, despite crossing 300 million subscribers globally. Netflix is raising its prices once more, like they do twice a fucking year. The streaming giant is upping the cost of its standard ad-supported tier to $7.99 a month in the US, up from $6.99, and the cost of the premium tier is increased by $2 to $24.99 a month, $25 a month for 4K streaming. Now, the standard plan is increasing to $18 a month from $15.49 a month. So now, we could make the argument about, 4K streaming should be more expensive because because 4K streaming takes up so much bandwidth. You have a point there, but you're increasing your standard plan, which is 1080p, which is significantly less bandwidth than 4K, and you're increasing the price to $18 a month. Oh, but you can do the ad-supported tier for $8 a month. Let's not forget that when Netflix streaming started, it started out $7.99 a month, and it was ad-free. Now, yes, that was many, many moons ago. In fact, I actually remember when you had to be a DVD by mail subscriber in order to access their streaming side. It wasn't until like a couple years after they did that did they separate the Netflix streaming service from the Netflix DVD by mail service. But here we go. The cost of adding an extra member on a plan without ads is increasing to $8.99 from $7.99. See, this whole thing is bullshit right from the get-go. The whole crackdown on password sharing, but still, the cost of adding an extra member on a plan without ads is increasing to $8.99 from $7.99. So God forbid you live in a household of like 2 or 3 people. I mean, Netflix is very, very quickly turning into a gigantic waste of money. Price changes are taking place across most plans in the U.S., Canada, Portugal, and Argentina. That's actually really funny that they're happening in Argentina as well, given their economic climate. They kick in Tuesday for new customers and start with the next billing cycle for existing customers. So basically, if you signed up for Netflix yesterday on January 21st, you're already paying the higher prices. But if you're an existing member, you're going to wait till the next billing cycle. So yippee-doo. This is the first price hike on the ad-supported tier. The last major U.S. price hike took place in October 2023 when Netflix raised the price of the standard plan to $11.99 from $9.99 per month in the U.S. and brought the premium price to $22.99 from $19.99 a month. Additionally, Netflix is expanding its offering of the extra member with ads plan in 10 out of the 12 countries where the streamer has an ads plan. That offering will continue to cost $6.99. Netflix cited the platform's increase in investment in programming as the reason behind the price increase. Bull fucking shit. But we're going to get to that. Quote, as we continue to invest in programming and deliver more value for our members, we will occasionally ask our members to pay a little more so that we can reinvest it to further improve Netflix, the company's shareholder letter read. Netflix is upping its content spend to $18 billion a year, up from $17 billion in 2024. And I'm an idiot for doing that. Here we go. This comes as Netflix builds up its live and original programming in each region and looks for more licensing opportunities, said Netflix CFO Spencer Newman. The company has been investing in more live sporting events, including the matchup between Mike Tyson and Logan Paul. I think they meant Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. That's a typo. I think it was Jake Paul to fight Mike Tyson. The NFL Christmas Day games and WWE's weekly show Raw. On the earnings call, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos also pointed to the upcoming slate of content, including returning seasons of shows such as Wednesday, Stranger Things, and Squid Game, as well as nude films from Guillermo del Toro, Catherine Bigelow, Noah Baumbach, the Russo brothers, and a new Knives Out film. On the live events front, Netflix also has the SAG Awards next month. Quote, when you're going to ask for a price increase, you better make sure you have the goods and the engagement to back it up. And I feel like what we have going in 2025, Sarandos said. The news comes as Netflix also announced adding a record-breaking 19 million new subscribers in the fourth quarter to reach 302 million subscribers. Netflix reported $10.2 billion in revenue and operating income of $2.3 billion. Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters added that the company's pricing philosophy has not changed and that he believes the pricing for the standard with ads plan is a quote-unquote highly accessible entry point. Quote, we look to continually provide more value to our members, seeking to wisely invest to increase the variety and quality of our entertainment offering. And then we listen to those members. We listen for signals like engagement, retention, acquisition. There's more secondary signals as well, all to tell us when we achieve that increase in value and what we've done and when we've done that. Then we ask them to pay a bit more to keep that virtuous cycle going, Peter said. Here's the problem with them hiding behind their investment in programming. The issue is that Netflix has a very, very bad reputation of canceling shows prematurely, which leads to the overall problem with Netflix original shows in that why am I a Netflix subscriber? I haven't been subscribed to Netflix for a couple years, for like 2 or 3 years at this point. But still, why is the average Netflix subscriber going to get excited for a brand new quote-unquote Netflix original series when the odds are that it's going to be canceled in just 1 or 2 seasons anyway? Okay, yes, Netflix produced Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, BoJack Horseman, Fuller House. They produced also all the Marvel shows like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Punisher. But all of those shows come from a time when Netflix was a relatively new network. So Netflix could not be canceling shows up, down, left, right, and center like they're doing now because it's not going to really create much confidence. And I'll give you a perfect example of a show that was canceled prematurely was the show Glow. Glow was going to be a 4-season show on Netflix. The first 3 seasons are released to Netflix. They were filming season 4 of Glow. The first episode had already been filmed, and then COVID forced production to go into hiatus. And then as time went on during the COVID hiatus, Netflix just came out and announced that we're canceling season 4 of Glow, and it's like, what? Why? Why are you canceling the final season of Glow? Like, why are you canceling the show that is going into its final season? Why not just finish its final season and now you can say, here's a completed show? Nope, we're just gonna cancel season 4 of Glow. There were petitions to get a Glow movie made to wrap up the series, but obviously the Glow movie has not been made or has even been announced at this point. So still, it goes back to, if you are a Netflix subscriber, why are you even going to bother getting in any new quote-unquote Netflix original series when the odds are that the show is going to be canceled within 1 or 2 seasons anyway? And I'm jumping over to this article from Newsweek. This came out October 19, 2024. And even Newsweek Headline here is Netflix keeps canceling shows prematurely. Why? Now I want to scroll down to the meat and potatoes, because they brought in three quote unquote experts to answer the question. But again, I think that the real meat and potatoes comes with the second quote unquote expert that they brought in. Stefan Lederer, the CEO and founder of Bitmovin, an Emmy Award-winning startup that provides video streaming infrastructure to various companies, agrees that Netflix's decisions are all data-based. However, he thinks this decision will damage the company in the long run. Yes, for those that don't know, Netflix pretty much just decides to cancel shows based on algorithms, and the golden rule is that if a show does not have a completion rate of at least 50% during like a set period of time, then the show's just going to be dropped and moved on. Quote, while data will be driving Netflix's decision to renew or cancel shows, its graveyard of unfinished storylines and shows that didn't get the opportunity to find their audience is growing quickly, Lederer told Newsweek via email. One critical metric Netflix uses when deciding whether to keep or bin a show is its completion rate. The general rule of thumb is that if 50% of the show's audience doesn't complete the season, it is unlikely to be renewed. From a pure business perspective, this makes sense because Netflix only wants hit shows to attract more advertisers and boost its revenue from advertising. Additionally, it doesn't make sense to invest in a TV show that does not resonate with audiences, end quote. And he does have a point, If a show has truly bombed, like this happened on network television all the time, mid-season cancellations were actually very normal, even if the entire first season of a brand new show was all filmed and in the can, ready to go, but the audience just never latched on. By the time you get to like episode 10, episode 11, episode 12, it then all of a sudden just comes out, yeah, no, we're canceling the show. The show I'm thinking of, hold on, I want to make sure that I'm actually that I'm getting my facts right. So I'm gonna stop recording and then I'll come back to finish my point on this. Okay, I was gonna use the example of Cedric the Entertainer Presents. It was a sketch comedy show that was on the Fox network. I thought that show got canceled during its first season. Thank God I actually went to go verify, because no, the entire first season was released. It was renewed for a second season, but the show was canceled before the second season even aired. So that would have been a bad example. But anyway, let's get back to this Newsweek article. He continued, quote, however, referring to Stefan Lederer, he continued, quote, however, there is an argument to be made that Netflix is too hasty when canning shows. Not every TV show will immediately become a worldwide phenomenon like Stranger Things or Squid Game. Some TV shows have a slower burn and build up viewership over time. For example, the first season of the US version of The Office was deeply unpopular with audiences, but they tweaked the format and some of the characters for the second season, and it went on to be viewed as one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, end quote. He does have a point in terms of, some TV shows have a slower burn and build up viewership. I remember doing a video a couple years ago about Netflix prematurely canceling shows. I don't remember what I titled it, but I do remember a comment that I received on one of those videos where someone pointed out the show Only Fools and Horses, which, for those that don't know, is a beloved sitcom over in the UK. But as the commenter pointed out, and the commenter was absolutely right about this, is that it took a very long time for the show Only Fools and Horses to become as beloved as it is, because the first 2-3 seasons really weren't that popular. It wasn't until around like series 4, series 5 did the show then find its audience and is now revered as one of the best sitcoms, at least over in the UK. If you're watching this video and you're from the US, you probably have never even heard of the show for Only Fools and Horses. Here we go. Lederer told Newsweek that Netflix needs to consider the fact that canceling TV shows too quickly could impact consumers' willingness to watch new shows if they believe it is likely to be canceled after one season. quote, overall, Netflix needs to strike a balance between canceling shows that have performed poorly while also taking the occasional gamble on shows that may not have taken off in one season, but there's evidence it's building a following and could become a hit over time, he said. And they do have a point, and there's an image in the article they bring up of that 90s show, and the thing with that 90s show is that most people will tell you that the first season of that show, like, absolutely sucked, and you're not wrong for thinking of that. However, what they said is that by the time they got to season 2, now I only watched the first half of season 2. I didn't watch the second part of season 2, and that's a whole video by itself of Netflix, dividing up the seasons over a period of time. Again, that's a separate. I hate to sound like Maz Kanata from Force Awakens, but that's a question for a good question for another time type thing. Okay, I'll just be frank. The wait time between seasons 1 and 2 of that 90s show was so long, it was almost like a year and a half. I had completely forgotten that 90s show even existed. Am I saying that 90s show was the greatest show of all time? No, but that 90s show did get canceled after its second season, and there is news that they're trying to go around to other networks to try to get it picked up. However, it's unlikely that 90s show will be picked up for a season 3. Again, I'm not saying that it's not going to get picked up for a third season. I'm just saying that it's very unlikely. But yes, this Newsweek article brings up a good point that, why are people going to get invested in any of these quote unquote Netflix original series if odds are you're going to cancel it in 1 or 2 seasons anyway, or worst of all, you're going to cancel a show going into its final season like you did with Glow. So now you left Glow on this massive cliffhanger ending that will now never be resolved. So let me pose the question. If Netflix keeps canceling shows left and right and no one wants to get and no one wants to watch them, what's the justification for hiding behind their increased investment in programming as the reason behind the price increase? Because what they seem to do is that they seem to start a whole lot of new shows, but they don't allow them to actually find the audience. Basically, according to Netflix, if a new Netflix original show is not the next Stranger Things or the next Squid Game or the next Wednesday, then it is a bad show and deserves to get lost into the annals of history. Whereas on a normal television network, again, a normal TV network might give the show a chance. They might actually take it to season 3 to see if the audience builds over time, but not according to Netflix. Netflix is all pure instant gratification, and every Netflix subscriber is going to pay the price for it. So you're basically paying an increased price for shows that you're never going to watch because they're going to get prematurely canceled anyway. So what's the point of keeping your Netflix subscription, especially if you're paying $18 a month for the no ads, or you're paying $7.99 a month for the privilege of watching advertising when there's plenty of free ad-supported streaming services out there?